Welcome back. Listen, I I had thought about doing this earlier today. I wasn't even gonna do another live because y'all know I did two other lives focused on contract law. But y'all know we've been talking about criminal law for a little bit on this channel, right? Because I've been studying both criminal law and contract law. And one of these new developments came in, and I said, no, this caught my attention. We gotta talk about this tonight. Child, we gotta talk about this tonight. Okay. So as you guys know, we've been talking about the Nolan case, which has been going on, is ongoing and ongoing with investigation. We don't have any definitive answers. We can't necessarily say guilty, not guilty. We don't know anything definitively, right? The evidence doesn't state that quite yet. However, we've had a lot of information that lets us know that we really see that the prosecution should be moving forward, and we should see what occurs through the legal process, right? So there was an audio engineer, Johnetta. Give y'all her image, because listen, we don't play, we get to them receipts. So we had Miss Johnetta Brantley, right? She helped break this case wide open, okay? So what she did was she took some audio content and she put it through some engineering software, which I'm gonna allow her to explain to you. And what she was able to uncover was that once she extracted some of the content, you can hear some things in the background, which gives us what? Pause. Enough pause to say that the prosecution needs to go ahead and move forward. Now, what do they move forward with? What charges they might try to press forward towards? Different conversation. But the fact that something needs to happen, fair, right? When we look at things from a criminal law perspective, we understand what beyond a reasonable doubt. So they need to have certain information in place, right? We've talked about that to some extent, but just to kind of bring attention to this individual right here, Johnetta Brantley. Because what did I come to find out? This person who decides to volunteer their subject matter expertise, someone who is kind enough to say, you know what, I see something going on in the world, going on in the community. I'm going to try to do my part to see how I can help, use my skill sets to help bring answers, because we want what? Justice. We want justice. And what happens to this young lady? What happens? She gets death threats because she chose to listen to audio, use her subject matter expertise so that people can hear the audio in a more clear and distinct way. She's getting death threats for a case that's supposed to be what? They said there was no harm, no foul play. You know, it was the term that they use, right? This is an accidental death, right? So if that is the case, and someone is just saying, hey, I just went ahead and pulled the audio, put the audio through certain metrics that trained personnel generally do, that I've been reading comments that said it sounds pretty standard for other people who are audio engineers to do. Why would people become so inflamed that they would threaten this lady? So that it gives me so many questions. So I'm gonna let y'all listen to this content, but I just wanted to bring that to your attention that this is a development that is just now happening. So how did I come across this information? Because y'all know I'm finna give you them receipts. I was following social media, trying to stay abreast of all the things that are going on, and I saw that Nancy Grace. Now I know we talked about how she be getting into these receipts too. What? She bank on it, right? She is the one a lot of us grew up kind of watching, kind of hold people accountable. And y'all know one thing, you don't play about people's children, okay? So Johnetta Brantley's content was featured on Nancy Grace's show, right? Maybe her team just got it and she just kind of said, hey, this is some audio that we've come across, right? TMZ did something similar. When I initially seen the information on those platforms, which is maybe after or around the time that I had it on mine, she was not referenced. Yesterday, when she, in fact, put her on there, like I said, she featured her. She was talking about some concerns that she had, one with her getting death threats, but then initially she started off talking about trying to bring more attention to the credibility, what about her expertise and her background. Now, we can't just say just because it's Nancy Grace and we rock with her real heavy that automatically makes someone more credible. Because once again, that's not the focus of what we're doing today. But you know, as we always look here, we always ask the question of, where is it? We always ask about the reliability of the data. When we get information, we are always asking, well, how reliable is this data? Right? Is it official document? Is it court filings, recordings? Right? Listen, big on recordings. Is it official statement? Is it right? Is it written? Or goes? I'm looking at it backwards so y'all can see it properly. So let me see which one I put in. Okay, recorded interviews. Is it this, right? Did it come from social media? Is it independent analyst, right? Is it verified, right? Where is it falling on this list? Where is it falling? Turn it this way. Can y'all see that a little bit better? Where, right? How reliable are these resources? So now, as I'm watching that clip, I'm like, okay, Nancy Grace is putting a little bit of extra support to show, like, hey, this person has a very credible background. And outside of that, she's also asking the question or bringing to our attention that now someone who is an everyday person, like likely me and you, I don't know who all comes across this channel, she lent her expertise, and now she's being subject to harassment, right? So I want to kind of come back to that, because she was just going to offer her support. Now she's being a focal point for harassment. So I want us to go ahead, listen to this clip. It's very quick. I told you I'm not going to be here too long. I wasn't planning on going live again today because I already did a couple of, but I want y'all to hear this. I really want y'all to hear this, because that's something that gave me pause. So I want y'all to hear it so we can get into these receipts. Because we've already talked about the case. We've already talked about the case in some length. It's already on the channel. If y'all want, I can do a quick dive in after we listen to the audio, if that is the pleasure of the body that is on right now, right? But we want to go listen to this audio, because what? You're saying just by trying to ask questions, trying to help bring justice for this family who is saying they need help, they need support, they want information, they want to know what happened to their child, right? That now this person being subjected to harassment. Let y'all hear from the source, because now this audio engineer that people said was just sitting out on social media as an everyday person has now been brought on Nancy Grace and has now been a part of a formal interview. So now, as far as reliability, how are we looking at that source now? Okay, how might a criminal defense attorney start to look at that resource now? How might a prosecutor look at that resource now? Okay. And if you're willing, put that in the chat, because that's the questions we've been asking, right? How would criminal defense look at it? How would prosecution look at it? We're talking about criminal law. I'm going to go ahead and give you this clip.
Ms. Brantley is the audio engineer who enhanced a 911 call, the CETO call, in the Nolan Wells case. So everybody claiming some ding-dong on YouTube did it, or somebody on Insta or TikTok did it, no. She did it. I've spoken to her. I've read her statement. I want you to judge her credibility. Credibility is normally the sole province of a jury, and tonight you serve in that function. Ms. Brantley, I'm sure that you're getting all sorts of abuse, threats, and so forth. It's a cacophony that seemingly won't cease.